All right, we have a few presentations this morning. We're going to begin with Council Member Nazarian of the 2nd Council District.
Thank you, Council President. Thank you, colleagues, also for this opportunity. It gives me immense honor and pleasure to invite Catholicos Aram I to Los Angeles City Hall and to our chambers. I wanted to speak a little bit about His Holiness and tell you a few points about his accomplishments for the Armenian community worldwide. His Holiness Aram I, Catholicos of the Holy See of Cilicia, is the spiritual leader of Armenian Orthodox Christians in communities throughout the Middle East and the United States. Born in Beirut, Lebanon, he pursued his theological and academic studies in Beirut, in Geneva, at Oxford, and in the United States, earning multiple degrees in divinity and sacred theology. He led the Armenian Orthodox community of Lebanon through the agonizing years of the Lebanese Civil War. 30 years ago, he was elected Catholicos of the Holy See of Cilicia by an electoral assembly composed of clergy and lay representatives from Armenian communities from throughout the world. Over the past 3 decades, His Holiness has transformed the Holy See of Cilicia into a thriving center of faith, learning, and service, founding museums, archives, seminaries, youth centers, and cultural institutions to preserve Armenian heritage and advance Christian education, scholarship, and social outreach. As head of the Church, he has established orphanages, homes for the elderly and the blind, schools for the disabled, housing initiatives for low-income families, embodying the Church's calling to serve those in need. He has also been a pioneering figure in the international ecumenical movement. He was the first Orthodox priest and the youngest person ever elected to serve as moderator of the World Council of Churches, leading global dialogue to strengthen unity among Christian denominations and deepen interreligious understanding. An outspoken defender of human rights, he has worked to secure recognition of the Armenian genocide and has convened international conferences on justice and reparation. As the Armenian community and the faithful of the Holy See of Cilicia mark the 30th anniversary of his pontificate, the city of Los Angeles joins in honoring His Holiness Aram I to faith, scholarship, global peace, and the enduring strength of the Armenian people. I'd also like to take a moment to welcome a group of 20 religious leaders and lay representatives who have joined our Catholicos in his visit to City Hall today. And we were just recently joined by former council member and council president Paul Krekorian here as well. Thank you all for being here. Before I ask the Catholicos to say a few words at the desk, Council President and colleagues, I just want to speak to you very briefly about the importance of the Armenian religious leadership. Don't forget that this has been a country that has been constantly in a warring state, whether having all the way starting from the Greek to the Roman to the Persian to the Arab empires coming through the region. So while kings and leaders have either been dethroned, abdicated, killed in war, you've always had the continuity of church. You've always had the continuity of education and guidance, everywhere from the local villages all the way to the main city hubs for centuries on end, for millennia. Over the course of the last 100 years, 150 years, after the very violent sentiments of the residue of the Ottoman Empire and the new Turkish state towards Armenians in the region, when the massacres happened, when the genocide happened in 1915, you literally had a country of orphans left behind. If it wasn't for the churches leading the missions, collaborating with relief organizations here in the United States, there wouldn't be an Armenia today. The Soviet Union, as it was establishing after the First World War, came over and grabbed what was left of Armenian lands and these orphans that were left behind. And under that yoke of the Soviet era, again, you couldn't have your own leadership. And the church was quite muted as well in that process. So what ended up happening was we had a lot of the church leaders acting as guiders of the Armenian community, of Armenians in Armenia and Armenians in the diaspora. And so that's the lineage that the Catholicos brings for me. That's the heritage that he brings for me and what he's done to preserve the community, the language, and its characteristics that make Armenians what they are today. So with that, it gives me great honor and pleasure to welcome Catholicos to the City Hall chambers. Thank you for being here. I look forward to another 30 years of your service, or as long as you want to continue serving. And I would be honored if you would say a few words to our dais, to our body from the desk. Please.
Your Excellency, dear members of the Council, I am very glad that once again I am in this city of angels. You are surrounded with angels, and really I believe that the presence of angels strengthens your sense of responsibility and commitment to serve the people of Los Angeles. I believe that this council is not only a center of authority, but also a source of responsibility. Not only a center of decision making, but also a challenge, a reminder of people-oriented service. We are nothing without the people. People is the sustaining power of what we are. People reminds us, challenges us, whether who we are, you see, what we should do. And I believe that the sense of responsibility should become the driving force of our reflection and action and our decision, which should always become people-oriented decision. Looking around me, I see young faces, Your Excellency. The presence of young people in this council and in all our communities and councils and structures and committees and governments and administrations. In other words, in the society, I think it's of crucial importance. Speaking about our youth, I always remind them and remind us, belonging to all generations, that the youth doesn't belong to the future. They belong to the present. And as such, our youth are called to play an active role in all spheres and at all levels of our society life. I cannot imagine a dynamic, vibrant, forward-looking society without the active presence of youth. So I really greet the presence of youth in this council, and I believe that they are playing an important role in all your reflections and actions. America is a country of opportunities indeed, America is also a country of values: freedom, liberty, justice, human rights, and people-oriented action sustained by responsibility and the sense of togetherness. We are together in the United States of America and also in Los Angeles. We belong from different religions, ethnicities. We have different backgrounds, but we are one in this city. This is the city of coherent diversities. And these diversities, I believe, are concretely expressed in this council. A council which has one goal: to serve the people of Los Angeles with the profound sense of responsibility. Therefore, I greet you in this spirit, and God bless you all, and God bless the city of Los Angeles.
Mr. Blumenfield.
Thank you. Colleagues, I'm here today to share another difficult story of what has been happening around our country and city with the ICE raids and the violations of human rights. Last week, I had some folks actually lined up who had witnessed their car wash coworkers being abducted, leaving behind minor children who were not U.S. citizens. But as they were undocumented themselves, understandably, they got concerned about coming in today. Today, I have a slightly different kind of abduction story, which is important to recognize. Equally as heartbreaking, but not as talked about as much. I'm referring to the horrible way that this federal government has been treating documented asylum seekers. I have with me Tatiana and Anton, two people who had been abducted by ICE, despite explaining that they were legally here on political asylum. Their very lives would be at risk if they were sent back to Russia. When they were taken, also, like in many of these stories, their teenage child was left behind at home unattended. They reiterated what we have heard so often about the awful conditions of their confinement: being cold, sleeping on the floor, being refused medication, being denied contact with the outside world. They were shackled, degraded, and repeatedly questioned in a language they could barely understand, despite asking for translators. I now want to give them the opportunity to let us know, and they have bravely agreed to come forward to talk about their experience firsthand, what has been happening and what's happened to them. I also want to thank my friend Joan Borson, who works with many asylum seekers who I've known her for many years, and she helped make this happen today. So with that, I want to turn it over to Tatiana and Anton.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you. My name is Anton, and we would like to share our story recently happened with us. We came to United States and then of the 2022 took previously planned trip, Christmas in New York. And while we been there, we received a message about Russian police sent summons for irrigation us according our political opinion and attitude towards the war. We were frightened at this situation, decided to stay temporarily in the US. And after we received one more message about that, we decided to apply for political asylum. We contacted an attorney to help us to fill Form 589 And after 150 days, since our case had not yet been adjudicated, we submitted Form I-765 and received employer authorization and began looking for jobs. I went to work at a car detailing studio. My wife found a job like a house manager responsible for household oversight and assistance to homeowners. Our son enrolled at a local high school. We're just awaiting our interview with immigration services. But on August 21, 2025, around 7 a.m., I went out for my usual walk with our dog. Suddenly, a car without any identifying marks stopped in front of me when man got out. His first question was, "Are you Anton?" And second one, "Are you Russian citizen?" I nodded. Next, he immediately said, "You're under arrest, you overstayed your visa." Two other men approached from behind. One grabbed my phone, other put handcuffs on me. I said I had documents providing I was legal to live and work in US and that I could show them. They said it didn't matter. You overstayed your visa, you're under arrest, you're coming with us. They placed me in the car in handcuffs on the front seat. Also, they asked, "Is your wife at home? Come here to take the dog." When Tanya came out, they immediately handcuffed her and said she was under arrest too for staying visa. I tried once again to explain that we had all documents allowing us to remain legally in the United States. And also we had a lawyer, work permits, real IDs. It doesn't matter. For them, I was wearing athletic shorts and t-shirt, and my wife was in her pajamas. They handcuffed her, left the dog in our backyard, and took us to ICE facility in downtown Los Angeles. I was placed in holding cell with about 50 other men. There were two open toilets and sink in the middle of the 1,000 square feet room. Lights will never turn off, making it possible to tell the time. There was no Gideon, no access to toothbrushes or towels. It was extremely cold, around 55-60 degrees Fahrenheit, with air conditioning constantly on. And I was called for questioning by CBP officers. And the first question was, when did you cross the border illegally, first time? I replied, I never crossed illegally. I came with valid visa, filled form for asylum, and I have employer authorization, and I have a form that says I may remain in US while my case pending. They seemed surprised and sent me back to holding cell. When I asked the ICE officer why I was arrested when I had all legal documents, one of them said, "You are a legal immigrant, we plan to deport you." After I was transferred by bus to detention center in San Diego. My hands were cuffed, legs shacked, and chain was placed around my waist, connecting the two. Upon arrival in the detention center, I was given a uniform. I spent another 26 days there. It's not easy to recall this time, but there were approximately 130 other men in detention cell. On September 22, I was released on 6,500 bonds and ankle bracelet on my leg. My wife Tanya also was released with 1,500 bonds without any bracelets. And to this day, we cannot understand why we were arrested. And we still don't understand how it was possible to leave minor child at home without parental care. And I never thought such a thing could happen in this country. Thank you for this opportunity for us.
My turn.
My wife's story.
Good morning, everyone. The first things I apologize for my English pronunciation, but I try to be clear. Thursday, August 21, it was my day off. I woke up like usually at 7:30, take my pills and fall asleep again. When I woke and pick up my phone, I saw about 5 missed calls from my husband, who was out walk with our dog. I called him back, and he said, "Tanya, I have been arrested. I'm with officer. You need to do something with our dog." And in the background, I heard a man's voice and speaking in English. "Say your wife, she should to come and pick up dog." I jumped off the bed wearing my pajamas, put off my slippers and told our son, "Dad has been arrested. No worries, I'll be right back. Lock the door and don't let anyone in." And then I ran out our house. Outside, I saw two unmarked cars and 4 men in plain clothes. Anton was sitting in the front seat on the car with his hands handcuffed behind his back. One of the men was holding our dog. I approached them. They asked, "Are you Tatiana?" I answered yes. And that moment, one man took my phone and another twisted my arm behind my back and put handcuffs on me and said what I was under arrested. I asked them why. He told me, "You are illegally here. You are overstayed visa." I tried to explain to him it's some mistake because we have all documents and we can stay here because my husband's case is still pending. But they don't care about my answer. And then I'm sorry. It's very...
You're doing great. You're doing great.
Thank you for sharing. You're doing great.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. You're doing great.
You're doing good.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Obviously, it's very much situation. But these shocking stories are happening all over the country. Our community here is no exception. What she was describing is how they left her son in the house and the conditions that she had to be under.
One of the many Russian couples with the same situation.
Yes, as Jones pointed out, there are many Russian couples who are here who would potentially be killed if they were sent back to Russia, and they're in this situation. So many people who have been calling Los Angeles their home for decades, and people who are here on asylum as well. This administration is harming our communities and seems to be throwing our constitutional rights out of the window. This is America. This is not Russia. Sadly, the stories we hear today make it seem like we increasingly have more in common with Russia than we ever had, and for all the wrong reasons. So we need to do what we're doing here. We need to do so much more, and I thank you, Council President, for having these meetings here where we are collecting the receipts. We are documenting these stories. We are bringing brave people like Tatiana and Anton and all the other folks who have come forward here to speak their truth, to speak it publicly here, which is no small feat. As I mentioned earlier, I had numerous other people coming at different times who pulled out at the last minute out of fear. This is a crisis that we are in this country. We need to uphold the American values. You know, at the beginning of this meeting, we pledged allegiance to the flag of the republic for which it stands. Well, what does it stand for anymore? And we want to make sure that it stands for human rights and for all of our rights. So that's why we're doing this. And Council President, thank you for allowing us to start this meeting with this presentation, as you have on so many other occasions. And their story is sadly one of so many. But thank you all for listening to it. And thank you for bringing them in, and Anton and Tatiana, where you are. Thank you for coming forward.
Thank you so much, Mr. Blumenfield. Councilmember Rodriguez.
Thank you. Mr. Blumenfield, I know they were just so overcome and overwhelmed with the trauma that has been inflicted on them, and I just wanted to thank them for having the courage to come speak. I know it takes a lot for these families to really reconcile with what's being done to them. But I just wanted to remind everybody, because the false narratives that are being projected, this is a couple and a family that was told to do things the right way. And what the right way represents no longer stands. It's been completely destroyed by this administration, has continued to levy their assaults on people that thought they were protected for having done it the right way. And it's clear that it is becoming more and more indiscriminate about who's being targeted and how they're being targeted. And it's sadly just a reminder for me, as I find myself continue to be torn by being celebratory around other activities that are happening in this city at a moment in time when this assault continues to be levied around people in our communities. And it's a reminder for everybody to use your discretionary dollars in such a way that doesn't continue to uphold and celebrate individuals that don't stand with us. And I'm going to say that over and over again, because while everyone likes to tweet and celebrate all these false narratives for organizations that don't stand with us, it's a reminder that as these assaults continue to inflict harm, irreparable harm on our communities, that we have to really challenge ourselves with what we stand for and who we stand with, and whether or not these individuals stand with us. So again, my thanks for you to bring them in and for them to have the courage to speak. And I hope this council will have the courage to stand with people like them in the wake of some of the other activities that are happening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Rodriguez. And again, we want to thank the family that came in to testify today, and Mr. Blumenfield for bringing them. And just so that the record is crystal clear, as I heard it, her husband was arrested walking the dog. He got instructions and permission to call his wife to come get the dog, which was just a trap for her to walk out of her house, at which time she was arrested. So just so we're clear about what's happening here in our city. So again, thank you so much for that. And Mr. Blumenfield's exactly right. We're trying to keep the receipts because we know what's happening today is not going to last always, and we don't ever, one, want it to be forgotten, and two, at some point we want to come back for justice. All right.
And Mr. President, before I read out the instructions, I want to warn Mr. Herman. To be clear, this is not because of you dancing in the middle of the aisle, as distracting as it might be. This is not because you continue to flip us off. This warning is because you interrupted Councilmember Blumenfield when he was trying to introduce the speakers during the presentation. I heard you yell out "FU," and while you're welcome to do so during general public comment, you cannot do so when you're not at the podium and while a council member is giving a presentation. We cannot require you to be a decent human being, but we can require you to abide by the rules of decorum in this room and the Brown Act. So this is your first and only formal warning. Do not disrupt this meeting. If you do so again, you'll be subject to removal and exclusion pursuant to Rule 7 and Rule 12.
Good morning, council members. It's an honor and a privilege to be here as a person with disabilities in the city of Los Angeles.
And Speaker, which items are you here to speak on?
He's going to speak on general public comment.
I live at Triangles or Apartments in Los Angeles, California, and I'm a member of the Los Angeles LGBT Center in Los Angeles as well. And I've been there for about I moved in September of 2023. I'm originally from Illinois, and I'm very surprised with Los Angeles and their approach towards people with disabilities, as well as the LGBT people with disabilities, which are covered under the Americans with Disabilities Act. Where I live at Triangles or Apartments, there's no accessibility to doors where I live at for people with disabilities, for people with mobility issues, as well as people in wheelchairs. I'm appealing, please, have someone go out there and take a look. And we need some assistance, real assistance. And I've been hearing since I've been at the Los Angeles LGBT Center, there's a problem with funding for these projects. So I'm appealing to the Los Angeles County as well as the members here to.
So you need to do your last remark if your time is ending. Yes.
Okay, so.
Yeah. So just let them know that this is what you're requesting and then your time is ending.
This is what I'm requesting, and thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you. Next speaker. Good morning. You have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the items.
Thank you very much, City Attorney Smoking Scan, for providing the previous speaker extra 5 minutes of speaking time after his time expired. Starting with item number 23, Sergeant Arturo, is about the shared housing typologies. So I'm here to reject this item because all of my homies on Figueroa Street, we don't want a shared housing, because shared housing meaning that I have to share my room with HIV, which is nobody in the city of Los Angeles wants to agree with item number 23. I want to ask our city council member, I want to ask our city attorney, would you like to share your room with an HIV Figueroa gangbangers? So now, let's move on to item number 24. Item number 24 is about the Graffiti Busters program. I am here to support this Graffiti Buster. On top of that, I am here to support the gang-banging busters as well. Because right now, once you clear up the graffiti, the second day, our city attorney bring his Black Lives Matter and then did another graffiti. And then we're gonna clean up the graffiti again, and then our city attorney get his Black Lives Matter, did a graffiti all over again. But basically, this is a dead cycle. It's never gonna get any better. Now let's move on to item number 25. Item 25 is about the Friday meeting will be held in Van Nuys City Council. I think that our city attorney is trying to deny me the opportunity to speak on Friday is because that our city attorney understand that I will never be able to get to Van Nuys City Hall to speak. That's the reason why our city attorney continue to move from the downtown LA to all the way down to Van Nuys in order to speak this item number 25, which is is a very racist item number 25 to continue to do that in the Van Nuys. Now let's move on to item number 26. It's about sanitation services in Council District 9. I am here to support in this item number 26 is because I advocated so many times that we need to clean up the Figueroa Street. So that's why those girls, they can have a safe street, they can have a clean street to provide their head services on the street of Figueroa. But the thing is, we continue to allow feces and then urine on the street in Council District 9 without any sanitation services. That's the reason why there's no more Figueroa girls wants to provide services anymore. So we definitely need a clean up street, definitely need more sanitation services on Council District 9. Now let's move on to item number 27. It's about street lighting on the Lincoln Heights. Yes, Lincoln Heights girls need street lighting because if they cannot see, then they don't know. I don't even know if I'm getting services from a male or female because there's no street lighting. I don't know who is giving me services, male or female. So I need street lighting. General public comment. I am here to support, to denounce the ICE raid because one of my beloved community member, Miss Guadalupe, was recently kidnapped by ICE. So right now, every morning, we do no longer have a burrito taco services anymore in our neighborhood because they took away Ms. Hernandez. And then right now, in other people of the community, whenever they do not have access to head services, we always go to Ms. Hernandez. But right now, ICE took our community head services provider, Ms. Hernandez. We no longer, nobody can get any head in the city of Los Angeles anymore, especially when Dana told me that she does not do anything with 3-inch sides. So we love Ms. Hernandez. We love Ms. Guadalupe. We make sure ICE release Ms. Guadalupe so we can have community head services whenever Dana denies me. Thank you.
Speaker, your time has expired. Next speaker.
Harriet Elliott. I was going to speak on one, and all I have to say about it is no proliferation of liquor stores. Okay, number 22, I am totally on the side of young people finding youth for housing and homelessness for youth. Okay, I'm so glad that we're doing that. I want to mention that somebody thought we liked Putin. Someone likes Putin. Down with Putin. Okay, I don't think anyone likes Putin. An autocrat. My other thing about this morning is that in the library there's a thing about Armenia, and it's something the center will not hold. And anyway, I urge people to see that. It's very nice. Okay, the entire world, this is a very, very right-winger.
Speaker, which item are you speaking to?
Public comment. I'm moving
over. You have 1 minute for general public comment.
This guy is a very more right-wing than Trump, and I hope you guys call him. I've left his phone number and his email, etc. And it's up to you to call him because I don't agree with anything he says, almost anything. The entire world is going to be raped by this beast system. He's talking about directed energy in the worst possible. That's the only thing I agree with this guy in the worst possible ways. And so if you're really determined to fight this New World Order in the future, you need to start building EMF bunkers and armor right now. Having all this ready to go can take up to a year, and it's time you start. The system has already begun applying financial pressures against and listen to this guy, you can tell where he's coming from. Patriots, purebreds, truthers, and conservatives as a demographic. I also want to bring up the woman, Renee Pittman, and I'll bring her thing next week. I already have it. It's about silent sound that goes into your ear. It avoids the ears. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, council members. My name is Vanessa Bautista. I am the community relations strategist for Best Friends Animal Society here in LA. I'd like to invite everyone to join us for our annual super adoption event happening this Saturday, November 1st and 2nd at the Rose Bowl. This is Los Angeles' largest adoption event featuring hundreds of adoptable dogs and cats from LA Animal Services and our local rescue partners. It's a fun, family-friendly weekend where Angelinas can make a life-saving difference and maybe even meet their new best friend. Events like this help reduce shelter overcrowding, support our city's efforts, and connect the community with vital pet care resources. Thank you for your time and for your continued partnership in helping LA make LA a model for compassionate, life-saving communities. Thank you.
Good morning, my neighbors. I'm not a fan of bad words or even the First Amendment in particular, but I am a fan of the law. And if you continue to shirk your responsibility to ask for the highest level of law enforcement oversight, you should expect to hear bad words. And I'm not talking about anything that happened at the No Kings rally. I'm talking about police deliberately ignoring violent extortionists for a very long time. The city attorney shouldn't waste time by giving warnings at every meeting, so I suggest you place a big red sign outside the city council chambers which says, "Attention sissies, city council is a designated public forum, which means the public is allowed to use naughty words. If you don't like it, we humbly suggest you move to North Korea. Sincerely, your city council. Go Blue Jays."
Test.
Speaker, which items would you like to speak to?
All motherfucking items.
You'll have 3 minutes for the items.
Ladies and gentlemen, Your Honor, and assholes of CD 13 regarding this convenience for necessity and more alcohol, have we not learned what happened when that illegal immigrant drove his semi into vehicles without one fucking brake on and killed 3 people? But yet we grandstand about these illegal immigrants who are afraid of Donald J. Trump, our hero, our only president, 45, 47, who's against overindulging with a bad haircut like that jackass attorney over there. God bless Donald J. Trump. Yes. My recommendations for off-site consumption is fuck you, Dawson. No more fucking alcohol. Thank you, Smoke and Scan, for the shout out and the scream. Smoke and Scan again. We don't need illegal immigrants driving on our freeways, killing innocent people because they're so fucked up, drunk, fucked up on drugs, and fucked up like Dogson up there with that fat girl. Then you go to item 23 regarding housing. Fuck housing in Los Angeles. It does not support any veteran, any American, any individual in here because of these racist, indespicable piece of shit local government called lawbreakers, criminal corruption. Just like in the days of Noah's Ark, corruption and criminal lifestyles that they love. That's item 23 for the record, dickhead with the bad haircut, groat. Then Smoke and Scan, I go into Harris-Dawson and that little beady parrot from Pacoima. Yeah, they're having a meeting in Van Nuys on Friday, Halloween. The only Halloweeny I'm going to grab are these ones here like Michael Jackson. Because that's the only belief I have in Halloween, your fucking pagan holidays. This society is really going to the fucking dogs. Woof, woof, woof. And the only hero besides Smoke and Scan and his audience is Donald J. Trump. Vote no on 50. Fuck you, Dawson, because you're not listening. Item 25, the Juju Bloomfield and his illegal immigrants on ICE. Fuck you too on item 26. Thank you, Smoke and Scan. Then item number 31, Blumenfield and that fucking criminal from CD 14 who allows our community to be run down by your illegal, inappropriate actions against ICE, against our government, and against Donald J. Trump. Now into my public comment.
You have 1 minute.
As you've heard, ladies and gentlemen, our society has become a criminal government. And I'll read into the record this case under case number 24 STCV 16690, Abraham Cruz versus the City of Industry. Now, illegals come in here and they get everything fucking free, right, Smoke and Scan? No, fuck local government. It's not free. I, an American citizen, I, AKA Batman, know that goddamn America is doomed. So in this case, everybody, why is it after 5 years of service in the city of Industry, this fucking government is giving these motherfuckers 5 years of lifetime insurance. 42 USC 1983 politely.
Speaker, your
Fuck
time is up.
you.
So you guys are seeking supplemental money to cover up for the cuts that you guys have made to our services. I mean, last 2 years, you cut street services by $61 million. You cut general services by $51 million. You cut public works by $8.4 million. You cut street lighting by $7.5 million. You cut aging by $5.8 million. You guys are going to go to hell for that one. You guys made these cuts, and rather than restore them, you say, you know what? We are going to spend $100 million a year on that vanity project over at the convention center that we did not need. Somehow, taking care of the unions was a priority. Somehow, taking care of the real estate developers was a priority, while our streets are dark, while our sidewalks are falling apart, while our roads have potholes everywhere, and you guys didn't find that a priority. So again, fuck you guys for that. I'm gonna go on to public comment. Last week, the LAPD tried to go to court to remove the restraining order and injunction that stops them from beating the hell out of press. They violated 409.7, and you guys said nothing. They violated the restraining order, you guys said nothing. They violated the injunction, you guys said nothing, but finally last week, you guys stood up and said, you know what, we're not gonna stand up for this anymore, and then that very next day, the LAPD went out there and started shooting journalists. And once again, you are saying nothing. Shame on all of you for that. And I'm actually gonna say something good about somebody here, Monica Rodriguez. Monica, I recognized what you did leading up to the fires for 2 years, warning about how the fire department was being defunded, how equipment wasn't being replaced. And you know what? No one listened to you. It seems like they all fought against you, and definitely the mayor did. I recognize what you did. If they had listened to you, I think lives would have been saved, properties would have been saved. Enjoy your day.
Hola, muy buenos días a todos y cada uno de ustedes. Gracias por escucharme. Yo soy una trabajadora de comida rápida. Yo vengo aquí para que nuestras voces sean escuchadas. Vine por todos mis compañeros para que ustedes puedan aprobar la nueva ordenanza. Porque nosotros, a los
un segundo,
trabajadores de comida
señora, por
rápida,
favor, si
sufrimos
puede
mucha
pausar.
violencia laboral,
Un segundo, señora, por
mucha
favor.
violencia por los empleadores.
I'm sorry, the interpreter has had a problem with the headset and was unable to hear what the person was saying. Señora, ¿sí puede repetir lo que dijo?
¿Desde el principio?
Sí, por favor.
Okay. Muy buenos días a todos y cada uno de ustedes. Mi nombre es Estela Flores. Soy trabajadora de comida rápida. Estoy aquí representando para todos a mis compañeros para que ustedes nos puedan aprobar la nueva ordenanza.
Yes, hello, my name is Estela Flores. I'm a fast food worker. I'm here supporting my coworkers so that you can approve the ordinance.
Porque nosotros, los trabajadores, sufrimos mucha violencia laboral, mucha violencia física por nuestros empleadores.
Yeah, because us, the workers, we suffer a lot of workplace violence and a lot of physical violence at the hand of our employers.
Incluso violencia criminal, que yo hace cerca de ya un año sufrí una violencia criminal en la cual los empleadores
As well as criminal violence, because me, as of a year ago, I was a victim of a criminal violence because of the employers.
no nos tomaron en cuenta, no valoran nuestra vida, a ellos no les interesa que nos pase algo.
They didn't take us into account. They don't value our lives at all. They don't really care if anything happens to us.
Entonces, por eso espero que mi voz sea escuchada para que ustedes aprueben la nueva ordenanza.
So that is why we hope that you listen to our voices so that you approve the new ordinance.
Para poder conocer nuestros
Speaker, sorry, your
derechos
time is up.
y poder defendernos nosotros solos. Muchas gracias.
So that we can know our rights and so that we can defend ourselves. Thank you very much.
My name is Daniel Sosa. On Friday, about 30 members of the public came to the council meeting to tell you about the violence that we experienced at the hands of LAPD again on No King's Day on October 18th. and to demand the removal of Chief McDonnell. The public felt very dismissed last meeting when the meeting was abruptly ended and several members of the public were denied the opportunity to speak. We didn't show up to give you guys a hard time. We were just trying to communicate to you the very real violence and trauma that we are consistently experiencing at the hands of LAPD, the most well-funded department here in the city. And we are asking you to do more to hold LAPD accountable for their unhinged and illegal behavior, which, by the way, is breaking the city's budget. Thank you.
Good morning, council members. My name is Ray Lawson. I'm a member of the Western States Regional Council of Carpenters. We're here to speak on item 20. I, along with dozens of my colleagues in attendance today, want to express our deep gratitude to the council for its unanimous support of this critical study to establish a residential construction worker minimum wage. This study goes right at the heart of the biggest issue facing our city: who builds the housing we need. A residential construction minimum wage is about building a reliable workforce so LA can finally solve its housing crisis. This study needs to happen and happen quickly. It's time for action now. And thank you for your time.
Thank you. My name is Krekorian. I'm a member of the Western States Regional Council of Carpenters. I want to thank you, the council, today for passing this motion to do this study, but also to implore this body to continue to fight like our Dodgers for 18 innings last night, because the fight cannot stop here. A residential construction worker minimum wage is a simple moral commitment. If you help build Los Angeles, you should be able to live in Los Angeles. Fair wages will not drive up housing costs of construction. Only 14% of construction costs goes to labor. A minimum wage will not only ensure more livable wages for thousands of Angelenos, it'll strengthen our housing workforce and ensure we can build the housing LA desperately needs now and for the future. I again thank the council for supporting this critical step and urge you to support the residential construction worker minimum wage in the coming months. Our workers can't wait, and Angelenos are depending on you. Thank you.